Hey, this is Dr. Sonia and welcome back to Dr. Sonia TV. Now, do I have a treat for you today? Let's have a conversation about dating and marriage over 50. Yes, dating and marriage over 50. I wanted to share this with you simply because I know there's so many women out there, even me. When I started dating after my divorce of being married 18 years and spending about 9 to 10 years as a single. I laugh about that because I'm like, I was single for a very long time. Now, was I dating during the midst of that? I was. And I can remember as I would date, I wouldn't give them names. I would just give them titles. So he would be an insurance guy, or he would be a construction guy, or he would be the mailman. I'm just giving names. That's not really what I dated, but they would get a name, a title versus a name. And that's how I introduced them to my sister. Now, this is going to be somewhat comical, but at the same time, I'm just sharing my truth. For any woman that is watching this, that is looking to date and marry over 50. One of the biggest things that I learned about this, that I was becoming not just a grown woman, but I was building my business. I was thinking about life differently. I was making different decisions than I did when I was in my 20s when I first got married. Things were different. I started looking for people not just to love, because let's be honest, what's love got to do with it? Do I love my husband now? Absolutely adore him, but it's just not enough. So in my thoughts of dating, I was looking for someone someone was on their way to becoming as well. I was looking for someone who is looking at marriage differently and not the traditional way. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing to have the traditional marriage. And what I mean about traditional, it is the husband is the head and the wife is to follow. I was looking for a partnership. Am I a believer? Absolutely. Am I a woman of faith? Absolutely. I believe things are just different. This is my truth. You can disagree all you want, but this is my truth. And me having the opportunity to work with over 300,000 women, life, business, and their careers, I've seen a few things. And I realized over 50, things begin to change. You just look at your life differently. You're looking at the second half of the game differently. Not knowing you have you have less time than you had before. And everybody wants to be happy, and Lord knows I wanted to be happy. And so I started looking for the partner who was going to allow me to be me. Not the person coming in and, oh, this is going to be a good conversation. Not the man asking me, can you cook? Can I cook? Yes, I can cook. I'm from Arkansas, bruh. I can cook. But that's not what I wanted to do. I was looking at the person who asked me, can I cook? And it was okay for me to say, I can get us a chef to cook for us. Now, been blessed enough that my husband is a great cook. He's a chef and he loves cooking. He's not a chef per se. He's my chef, but he's a great cook. And he's kind of territorial in the kitchen. But going back to the dating, it was something different that I was looking for. And as I was looking, I started to learn more and more about myself, of what I wanted. And so if you're listening to me right now and you're over the age of 40, heck, if you even over the age of 40 or 50 or even 60, I'm going to challenge you to look at relationships differently. One of the biggest things that I really thought about when it was time to marry was this very thing. Let's say you're 50 years old and the person that you're dating is that age or more. If you're 50, they're 50, you're bringing 100 years of experience together. 100 years of life experience, knowledge, bringing in their ways about things. And now the biggest thing that is different about when I was dating in my 20s and me dating at this age was that I was somewhat set in my ways. And so were they. They had particular ways of doing things. I had particular ways of doing things. There's a certain side of the bed I want to sleep on. I got to switch side of the beds and all that kind of stuff. It's the way I folded my towels. It's the way I cleaned my kitchen. It was all those things. But one of the biggest things that I learned, I had to make adjustments. If you're listening to me now and you're looking to not just date, but to get married, you're going to have to be open to making adjustments. Let me talk to the brothers, because I know some man is watching me. Sir, we're not trying to change you. We want the best for you. That's how we've been wired. That's why we were created. We are nurturers by nature, and everything that you put in us multiplies. If you give us negativity, that's going to multiply. If you give us greatness, we're going to be great on the inside, and that's what we're going to create in front of your very eyes. And so if you don't like the person that you're with, gentlemen, I want you to think about what you're pouring into her. Now, sis, back to you. As you go through this process and you're looking to date and to get married, there's some adjustments you have to make. I will say this to you, especially at the age of 50. Don't be coming up here talking about you want a baller. Yes, there are 50-year-olds who want ballers, but you're not balling. You have to bring to the table what you expect. I know the young women that are out there, that's what they do. I'm just talking to those of us that are wiser and more mature. At least we're supposed to be. Think about what it is that you want. And you have to ask the question, 1, do I bring that to the table? And 2, if I don't, how hard am I willing to work and commit to making the changes in myself before I get into any relationship? Because remember, we're bringing 100 years of experience together. I see so many women that want to be married. And one of the things I'll share with you is I realized at some point, at the beginning I was desperate. I'm just being real with you. Not thirsty, but we're going to call it desperate. I just felt because every person, especially being in church and being out, you should be married. You're too pretty not to be married. You should have a man in your life. And they didn't understand what God was doing in my life and what he was doing for me. And as soon as I took my eye off of, I gotta be married, my clock is ticking, kids grown, I wasn't trying to have, well, at least I didn't think I wanted to have any more children. The truth be told, just for me, I don't know about you, I'd had a man in my life since I was 13 years old. And I got to a place, and I know the divorce that I went through was a divorce that saved my life. And it gave me the opportunity to figure out who I was. And so as you're listening to this, you have to figure out, have you given yourself time to grow and learn about who you are before you get into a relationship with someone else? Man, I just had this thought, somebody's watching this and you're not 40 or 50, but you're getting good information as well as you prepare for this life you're about to live. I got the opportunity to get to know who I was, and the desperation and the lonely nights that I had began to subside because I started focusing on my business. And I was minding my business. I'm not just talking about the business that I was building, just my business. I stopped being around people who were just telling me, you need to be married, you need to be married, you need to be married. What? No, what I need to do is figure out who I am. Because many of us, what is happening is we are the wife to our husbands, we are the mother to our children, but to us, we have no idea who we are. And when I went through that, it was a saving grace that I sat there and like, I am more than somebody's wife. I am more than someone's mother. I have to figure out who I am. And so I went on that journey, figuring out who I was. Now, I'll be honest, my marriage is not perfect now. We've been married a little over a year. We are still learning each other. But one of the things that we decided to do was make the very necessary adjustments for one another as we go through this, because that's a lot of experience coming together. I'm very grateful to be able to learn that lesson. I'm even more grateful that I get to come and share this story and be very open and be very transparent. Now, did I date along the way? Whoo, con men, shady men, liars, all that. I have met them. But in the midst of everything, I believe God spared me. And he gave me the opportunity to see the things before my very eyes and not be desperate and not settle for what was coming before me, but really focusing on me and what it is that I needed in my life and the things that I deserve. And so as I begin to close this out, I want you to think about, what is it that you deserve in your life in a relationship? Someone to support you? Yes, love you, but someone to support you. And not just tell you they love you, but show you that they love you. At this, ladies, in our life, we are not asking for permission, my dear. We're asking for support. I believe slavery is over. Yes, somebody just got real mad. Go on, get in the chat. Make sure you spell my name right, though. But slavery is over. We're in this space right now that we can demand what we want. I'm not talking about people having men with money and all that, because we should come to the table and have those things long before we get in those relationships. And so that's what I have to say about bringing 50 years of experience from you and 50 plus years from somebody else and bringing those two lives together. Dating over 50 and getting married is a challenge, but it can be done. You get to choose, you get to decide your happiness and the life that you live. This is Dr. Sonia. Allow that wisdom to manifest in your heart and really manifest right before your very eyes. And I'll see you at the top.